Joining me right now is Senate Judiciary Committee member Marsha Blackburn. Senator, great to have you. Thanks very much for being here. What is your takeaway from the Merrick Garland testimony this past week?
The testimony was astounding. Maria, he heard nothing, he saw nothing, he wrote nothing. He didn't know anybody who had talked to anyone else that was involved in the White House. He had no recollection of any conversations that had taken place. It was astounding to hear him say this. He either is inept or he is lying. You've got one of two decisions you can make on this, because no one could be running and in charge of the U.S. Department of Justice and not have heard anything. It calls into question what they are trying to cover up. Why are they trying to hide the ball? Why are they trying to kick the can? Why are they not wanting to answer these questions? And Maria, there's a great country song. It's called The Hole. And the message of the song is, when you're in a hole, stop digging. And when you hear testimony like Merrick Garland's, you know this is inaccurate. And you know, with all of the conversation and the whistleblower and the money movement and the accounts and the emails and the testimony, it says, could what he is saying really be accurate? And most people say, of course, he knows more than he's admitting, and he has done more than he is admitting.
Well, it's just extraordinary. We'll be keeping a spotlight on that. Meanwhile, this weekend is really intense in Washington. We're inching closer to a government shutdown that could delay any further House investigation into Joe Biden, with less than a week away from that deadline to keep the government funded. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy sent some in Congress home this weekend because of the Jewish holiday after a group of Republicans derailed the plan to move a key spending bill forward. Are you concerned about a government shutdown at this point? And what do Senate Republicans think about all of this?
Senate Republicans have finished all of our appropriations bills, and they're ready to go to the floor. We would like for the House to begin that process of sending us a CR to keep the government open and functioning. And Maria, the House members should want to stay on track for investigations. Investigating Garland and Mayorkas and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. If you shut down the government, you can't continue that. So this is a walk and chew gum at the same time exercise. You have to keep the government open. You have to be reducing spending in the process. And nobody benefits from a government shutdown except federal employees who get a paid vacation.
Wow. Well, look, I know that there was some common ground on securing the border, and that's one of the other major stories of the week. Customs and Border Patrol confirmed that border encounters have now hit an all-time new record high after this shocking day last week. 10,000 migrants crossed into the country and were apprehended in just a single day. 10,000. Biden's Homeland Security is flying 200,000 migrants directly to 43 U.S. cities across the country. Is it your city? What is going on here, Senator, and what can you do about it?
I know that Governor Abbott has said his state is being invaded. And I had some Tennesseans last night that asked me, when do we start calling this an invasion? 10,000 a day since Biden took office, 7 million. That's a population equal to the size of the state of Tennessee, Maria. And how long can we sustain this? Joe Biden, and I applaud the House for putting H.R. 2 on their CR proposal. We need to get that passed, and this administration needs to abide by the law, and they need to secure that border. We don't know how long we can sustain this. You've got people from 176 different countries presenting at the southern border. Cartel, global organization, Chinese Communist Party is sending people, it appears, and you have, that has increased over 1,000%, over 18,000 Chinese nationals presenting at our southern border, coming into this country. Maria, they have got to secure that border. And a lot of people are beginning to say, is it time to send the military to the border? And how are we going to turn this? But you've got to have some action there. We cannot sustain this.
Well, the Chinese Communist Party would have their military there in 3 seconds. I spoke with Mark Green, the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee this week, and he said this is all being directed by Xi Jinping. He's actually sending military-aged men into America to settle here until he's ready to give them the directive to be a saboteur. So is that the point here? Is that as well? What they can do? Start wildfires? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we do not know who is coming in, and we do not know their purpose, whether they're coming from the Chinese Communist Party or any of the other countries. The point we need to focus on is the cartels are running the border. They are working with the Chinese on fentanyl. And we need to make certain that while the cartels are running that southern side of the border, that we have the resources at the border to protect our border and to protect our country and to know who is coming in here. Now, we've talked about those applying for asylum, but Maria, what about the gotaways? You've got thousands of them. I've got on my desk somebody from Cuba, their passport and their national ID because they dropped it. To the country, they get identity. This administration is trying to make illegal legal. They're now going to give special consideration to 500,000 Venezuelans, give them, they've got a proposal to give them IDs. Maria, what's the next thing? Give them driver's license, let them vote. We cannot sustain this, and we have to have order at the southern border.
Yeah, all right. We'll be watching you work on this, Senator. Great to see you. Thank you.
You got it. Take care.